Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I'm your host Tyranno Senpai, and welcome to my follow-up video of Instinction. If you remember, last night I recorded my reaction to Instinction, and in that video I kind of gave my thoughts and opinions on the fact that this might just be another cash grab for Jurassic World Dominion, and I feel like I may have been overcritical. When you're talking about a game that's supposed to be the spiritual successor of Dino Crisis, we're talking about something that really needs to live up to its predecessor's legacy. Dino Crisis is, beyond a doubt, the most terrifying dinosaur game that has and ever will exist. So when we're talking about a game that's talking about possibly being just as scary to the legendary game from Capcom, it puts a lot of pressure on people, and again, a lot of games kind of fall flat from that when they do try to be scary and it doesn't quite work. Again, I do feel like I was a bit too overcritical about Instinction, so I decided that I needed to go onto their website and actually see for myself what exactly was going on. I'm going to go into this with an open mind, and we're going to learn just what to expect from Instinction until it's released. Experience a cinematic story-based action-adventure with combat, exploration, and puzzles, where the environment can be as treacherous and beautiful as the creatures you encounter. Environmental puzzles will have you completing quests and searching for ancient artifacts left by an unknown civilization long since gone. Or so you thought. While navigating stunning locations with ever-changing weather conditions and embark on an unforgettable journey. This is some pretty cool stuff. The whole concept of a lost civilization, an environment that's just as dangerous as the animals that inhabit it, that's pretty spooky stuff, not gonna lie. And the ever-changing weather conditions, that's one I am kind of thinking about. What kind of weather conditions are we expecting here? I mean, obviously, rain and possibly thunderstorms, but is there anything else, like hurricanes, or maybe even natural disasters like fires or earthquakes, things like that? They don't really tell us a whole lot, but it's open to interpretation. But I imagine we'll see sun, cloudy, rainy, and stormy for the most part. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, at least. I could be entirely wrong, though. You'll have to let me know what you guys think in the comments. And of course, we do have some information on the extinct creatures, the biomes, weapons, and combat exploration. So I think we're going to go ahead and get to the meat and bones of this video and talk about what kind of prehistoric creatures we're gonna be walking into. Play with and against a wide variety of dinosaurs as well as other prehistoric beings. Here is a full list of the current included dinosaurs and animals. We want your suggestions on others you'd like to see in the game, so drop us a message on our social media. Some of the most requested will be included in the game. So basically what this is telling us is, it's kind of like they're asking for feedback on what other dinosaurs that the public would want to see in the game. Not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like if you want to make a game, you really shouldn't have to have a public opinion on what kind of animals you want to see in the game. I mean, it's good to be open, and it's good to have like all kinds of ideas, but at the same time, I think it's better if you just come up with your own ideas rather than just have a whole bunch of other people give their thoughts and opinions. I mean, if it's your game, you can do whatever the hell you want with it, and no one has to say in it, and it can still turn out great. So, obviously, we do have a list of extinct creatures, which I'm going to list one by one. And they all appear to be in alphabetical order. So, we have Acrocanthosaurus, Apatosaurus, Argentinosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, Carnotaurus, Coelophysis, Coelacanth / Mawsonia, Diabloceratops, Dinotherium, Deinonychus, Dinornithiformes, Homo floresiensis, Kronosaurus, Mapusaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, Sarcosuchus, Smilodon, Spinosaurus, Stegosaurus, Styxosaurus, Suchomimus, Tarbosaurus, Temnodontosaurus, Thalassodromius, Triceratops, and Tyrannosaurus. That's quite a lot of dinosaurs for a what appears to be a story-driven game. And we do see a lot of animals here that seem to have not only the same family, but also look exactly like their relatives. For example, Carcharodontosaurus and Mapusaurus. Both of these animals are from the Carnosaurid family. These guys are more closely related to each other than a lot of these other animals, and they have a similar body type and build. It's just Carcharodontosaurus is the larger of the two. And then we also have Tarbosaurus and Tyrannosaurus. Again, two completely related species. Both of them look almost exactly the same. It's just the Tarbosaurus has a differently shaped snout and is not as heavily built as Tyrannosaurus rex itself. Interestingly enough, Deinonychus is on the list and not Velociraptor. It seems like these guys actually are thinking about the fact that the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park were actually based on Deinonychus. So the fact that it's Deinonychus in this game rather than Velociraptor, it really does make me think that this might have been the better call, as these raptors are in fact bigger than how Velociraptor would have actually been. These are actually closer to the size of the Deinonychus that we see in the fossil record. So it is safe to say that these are in fact Deinonychus that we are seeing. They just need their wrists fixed and their feathers. Hopefully that does... I mean, here's the thing, right? An accurate Suchomimus is one of the things that's in the game. Yet we have inaccurate raptors. If you have scientifically accurate dinosaurs with the Jurassic Park style dinosaurs, it makes them seem a little out of place. You know what I mean? If you're gonna choose one or the other, you need to stick with that. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, they can do whatever they want, but that's just my own thoughts on it. Also, why are there so many dinosaurs? I mean, for a story-driven game, this seems like quite a lot of creatures, and the fact that they want people to have more suggestions might put a lot of strain. This looks like something I'd see in like a dinosaur survival game like The Isle or Path of Titans, with this selection that we have. I'm not complaining about this list whatsoever. It's good to see that we are getting a variety of dinosaurs, but a lot of these look like they could be easily replaced with just, I don't know, like, remove Mapusaurus and keep Carcharodontosaurus, keep T-Rex and remove Tarbosaurus, that sort of thing, because they are too similar to be put in the game and have people figure out which one is which. But again, that's just my own opinion on the matter. So there you go. That is the list of extinct creatures that we can expect to see in the game. Next up, we have Biomes. Explore multiple locations from forest to research facilities, cenotes, and lakes. These aren't just beautiful landscapes, they are treacherous ones. We don't expect you to survive, but you don't have a choice. You owe it to yourself. Changing weather conditions, trenched terrain, gorgeous views. There are deep, cavernous waters to explore. Depending on what you've acquired, you might have to hold your breath or can relax on a ventilator. P.S. Never relax. You won't be exploring for very long until you run into something terrifying. Huh. This does kind of make it seem a little more like Dino Crisis. Like every second, you could just be killed at any moment, just like that, and you will not, like, know what hit you. And with all the different biomes, I'm quite excited about this. And there is a shot in one of the trailers that does kind of look a lot like Dino Crisis with the red lasers blocking the doorway. That is something that was seen in Dino Crisis in 1999, which did keep raptors from getting you. I don't know if they'll have the same function, but maybe. Also, for biomes, I was hoping for a bit more diverse stuff, more than just forests. Like grasslands, swamps, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, maybe there are, and I'm just being overcritical again. But for what I can see from this photo here, it's mostly dense jungle that we would typically see in some places like Costa Rica or Mexico or the Amazon, wherever. Not that it's a bad thing, I think it looks great. but I would like to see a more diverse like biome than just forests and research facilities. Next, we have weapons. Customizable weapons and attachments from melee to rocket launchers, reticles to skins. Multiple weapons, attachments, and other advantages. I'm gonna try to say this right again. Advantageous pickups through the game. Some may benefit you. Use your weapons and ammo wisely. This is not unlimited ammo, nor are there skint resources. Your decisions will affect the likelihood of you completing your missions. Change your weapons and attachments on the fly while in combat. You'll make good use of bullet time during weapon changes. Again, this is something like Dino Crisis, because if in the game you only have a certain number of bullets, and every time you use them, you have to find more, and they can be hard to come by a lot of the times. I know it can probably take a while to find a hemostat in the game. Jesus Christ, man. You're being attacked by raptors. You think there'd be more of them. The fact that we actually have to use our ammo wisely probably means we have to be really good at our aim. And again, I cannot stress enough, I don't like shooters. I don't like games that emphasize the need for guns. I have been strongly against them for a while. It's not that they're bad, it's just that I don't really get enjoyment from like that sort of thing. Plus, it makes it seem like these dinosaurs are not animals, but monsters. And that's just one of the things I don't like to see. Stuff like an arc, primal carnage, and things like that. Things that give off a carnosaur sort of vibe, I hate it. I don't like it. Again, this is why I prefer The Lost Wild over any dinosaur survival horror game, even though it's not even out yet. Because you don't have weapons. You don't have a gun. You're just an average human being on an island full of dinosaurs. In this, you're a mercenary. What is it with dinosaur horror games where you're either a mercenary or like a man with a spear? Like, drives me nuts. But for those of you that like first-person shooters and like risks, this is probably the thing for you. And who knows, maybe when this game does come out and I do decide to play it, maybe it might actually make me feel what it was like to have played Dino Crisis when it came out. Combat and exploration. You'll be attacked. You'll most likely be killed. Wild beasts are not meant to be your friends. Ironically, some will be. For the most part, you'll need to survive through combat and using your brain. Not all beasts are foes, so may appear to be nice. Play smart, complete your objectives, perhaps consider a side mission. You're in control. Let's hope. So basically, this game is just telling you, don't be an idiot. Actually think about what you're doing before you execute it. Kind of like when you're driving, in a way. And what does it mean that some of these creatures will be friendly towards you? Are we talking about, like, as a pet? I sincerely hope not. That would just be too weird for me. I mean, these are wild animals. They're not meant to be domesticated. They're not meant to be trained. They're meant to survive in the wild without human interference. In my personal opinion. I mean, this whole video is my opinion, right? Okay? It's all just a matter of opinion. But I think this might be like a case where, like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. She is inherently a wild animal, and she is seen as a villain up until the last moment when she kills the velociraptors. Maybe that's what we're seeing here. That, like, if you lead a dinosaur to another one, it will attack it, kill it, and completely ignore you. Like, it'll just completely forget that you're even there. That's what I'm getting from this. Probably. Because if this actually turns out to be like, oh, you've made a pet. You've caught a wild blah, 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 blah. I might actually cringe. In a way. But let's hope that's not the case. And finally, customization. Customization is a privilege in the game world, but developers want it as much as gamers. It's time-consuming, especially when deadlines to release a game are near, so it's often cut from the final release, or dismissed early on. What we have gathered from the community early on is the option for customization. It's important to the majority of games Instinction offers character and weapon customizations. Beyond that, we are working on customizable HUDs and colors. You control over subtitles, position, size, color, and language. Huh. Well, that seems pretty self-explanatory. You're pretty much in control of how you want your game to look. And of course, this is something that I think you all have been wanting to know, is what kind of gaming platforms Instinction will be released on. Because normally, a lot of the times, Dinosaur games are only released on PC. In this one, however, we have it on Steam, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Stadia, and Nintendo Switch. And the expected release date, oddly enough, is September 2022. This game is expected to release months after the release of Jurassic World Dominion. So perhaps this is not a game trying to cash in on Jurassic World Dominion, because this does seem to take place a little while after its release, and quite possibly when it actually becomes available for retail. I'm not entirely sure, though. I mean, we'll find out for sure. I mean, obviously, it's still gonna be in the time when dinosaur ratings are high in the search. In a way, this game is trying to get on the hype train that is Jurassic World Dominion. It's just taking place a little bit longer afterwards. That's all I can really say about this game. There is a blog that they do for the dev diaries and things like that. I will not read over those in this video. I think you are perfectly capable of doing that on your own. So, of course, I will leave hashbane.com in the description down below so you can read that for yourself. I will be following along with Instinction, keep watching over its development and things like that. See what we're expecting to see, but there is going to be a roadmap from what I can gather, and of course, I will be keeping up with these dev diaries to see just exactly what we can expect to see. I think now I have a better understanding of what to expect from Instinction, and from what I can tell, it does kind of feel like Dino Crisis in a way, with the environment, the animals, and of course, with your weapons, you don't have unlimited ammo. So, yeah. This does feel like it's going to try to replicate the feel of Dino Crisis. Will it, though? Well, only time will tell for sure. But, in my personal opinion, I think this might actually be a decent game. I think this is actually something I will definitely keep my eye on, and if it turns out to be something I might be interested in, I might very well have it showcased on the channel. We'll find out when it releases or when it gets close to it. I'm going to end the video here. If you have anything else you want to add to this, please let me know. Everything I just said is solely based on my opinion. You don't need to take my word as gospel, and chances are my opinion is going to change whenever this game comes out. So there you go. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe today, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything new. Link to the Discord in the description down below, as well as hashbane.com. And until next time, this is Tyranno Senpai signing off. Alrighty then, take care now. Bye bye then.